Hello everyone! So today's video is a little bit unique. It's not gonna pertain to any specific release. It is a list, but I got tagged to do this video from a fellow YouTuber named Anthony Turner. He tagged me in this video called Top 10 WoW Movie Moments, and I believe he was tagged by another creator, and then at the end of this I'm gonna tag a couple of people. I really love watching tag videos on YouTube. It's like one of my guilty pleasures, so the fact that I get to be a part of one is really cool. But I will say it doesn't specify what genre. Since I am a horror channel, I'm going to be sticking with a horror theme. So I guess you could say this tag is Top 10 WoW Horror Movie Moments. And then one day eventually in the future, I will drop a video with maybe my top 6 or top 10, whatever random number, non-horror movies. But that day is not today. And I'm just gonna jump into this tag. I believe you're supposed to go in order, your least WoW moment to the top WoW moment. I couldn't pick, these all are a little bit WoW for different reasons. And generally, if a horror movie has a WoW moment, it's gonna be more like a shock moment. I feel like that alone could be its own separate video. I wanted to do it this way, so I'm just adding a little personal flair. So I'm just gonna start. These are in no particular order. These are just the top 10 moments in horror movies that made me go, wow, okay, what? I will say too, this is a spoiler warning for all of these movies. The scenes that I'm gonna be mentioning are kind of pivotal for the plots. So if any of these movies on the list are ones that you want to see, I would maybe skip this video. And I'll list the movies down below, but I won't add the scenes, because if you want to know those, you gotta watch. So let's just start. First on the countdown is Annihilation from 2018, and it's the bear scene. I have talked about this in a previous video, but there's just this really messed up scene where this bear that these scientists are in this place called the Glimmer, and all of nature is kind of evolving or adapting in a weird way because of this almost an alternate dimension shift. But this bear, its skull is exposed, and it has this new ability where it can mimic the cries of its prey to try to get more prey to come to its aid. And there's just a really messed up scene where you see the bear up close, and it gets really close to Natalie Portman's character, and that just shocked me. It was a very big wow moment. I think about that moment anytime someone's like, have you ever seen Annihilation? I always think about that bear scene, and I'm like, yes, I have. Next one on this list is from It Chapter 1, that released in 2017, and it's Georgie's death. I remember sitting in the theater. I went and saw this alone the first time I watched it. Yay, lonely loser club for watching movies by yourself, haha. But I remember sitting in the theater and watching that scene and thinking, whoa, I knew that it was gonna be more intense than, the original. I just didn't expect Georgie's whole arm to get bit off, and then him crawling away, screaming for his brother. That whole scene, shook me. That definitely a wow moment for me. The next one on the list is kind of, iconic, and I feel like it's on everyone's, wow horror movie list, but it's from The Thing from 1982, and it's the defibrillator scene. Defibrillator. But the first time I watched it, I just didn't see it coming, and it really whoa, he goes to defibrillate this guy, and then his chest opens up and it's got teeth and it bites his arms off. You just don't expect that to happen when someone's trying to save your life. Next one is from The Mist that released in 2007. This is another one that I feel is on a lot of people's lists, but it's the ending. The ending was messed up. You go through this whole movie and this dad is trying to save his family from these creatures that come out of a dimensional portal thing that the military opened up on their mountain town, and there's these monsters hiding in the mist, and they all look alien-like, and it's it's really spooky because it's very jumps out at you. You don't know what to expect because all the creatures are different, or they're altered weird versions of things that already exist, the bugs, I think, or the flying creatures. But yeah, at the end, the dad and the remaining survivors in this jeep, they basically give up. So he shoots everybody, and he doesn't have enough bullets for himself, and one of the people he ends up shooting is his own son, his child son. And then moments after he kills them, the mist clears, And like if he had just waited a little bit longer, they all would have been okay. It's fucked. It's such a fucked up scene. Such a wow moment for me. More like, wow, how could he do that? Wow, why did this happen? The next one is from Seven from 1995, and it's the sloth scene. It stars Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and there's these detectives on the hunt for a serial killer, and like all of the murders are set up really like the killer's like showing off and portraying the bodies to represent the 7 deadly sins, and one of the sins is sloth, and it's this guy like tied to a bed, and he looks dead, like he looks like a corpse. His like body's all shriveled up, and there are photos laying around him of like progressive shots of him like decaying, but like the worst part is like the guy's still alive, so it's not like it was a murder scene. It was like they found a victim of this serial killer who was still alive, but like, you know, sloth is like being lazy and just laying around and not doing anything, and that's essentially what he made that guy do. Like there's bed sores so bad that like it causes a really bad infection, and it's just like a really messed up scene. To be fair, that whole movie, all of the like victim layouts are really twisted and really messed up, but that one really stuck with me. That one and Gluttony really stuck with me, but I'll say sloth for this list. The next scene is from Ichi the Killer from 2001, and I don't know what else to call it other than the nipple scene. It's been a really long time since I've seen this movie, so I don't remember the whole premise. But there is a scene where a girl, I want to say she's in like a club, or like she's being held captive or being questioned by like some thugs, if I'm remembering correctly. Just the scene itself is all you need to know. They like grab her nipples and then put them down against a table, and then they take like a razor blade or a box cutter and just slice her nipples off. It is so graphic. It is so, oh my gosh, wow, like bad wow, not a good wow. That really messed with me, and I think there's a reason why I haven't watched Ichi the Killer in so long and so many years, because that's not the only messed up scene in that movie. There's a lot of like sexual violence against women, so like if you're pursuing any movies from this list, just be cautious with that one. Maybe do some research, like just here's your trigger warning. It's very intense. The next one is so gross. It's Drag Me to Hell from 2009. It's basically all the gross scenes. Like there's a scene like at the beginning, like this woman, I want to say she's like an insurance policy accountant person thing. This old woman comes in, she's about to lose her house. She's got a big family, and like she gets denied help, and so she curses the girl, the main character. But like what she does is she like finds her in like the parking lot and like breaks into her car, and there's like a big altercation, and she has like dentures, and she like pops the dentures out, and she like ends up, oh my god, I'm gonna gag, like gumming her lower jaw. Like she like attacks her like to bite her, but she doesn't have her dentures in, and she like gums her. That's so nasty. Ugh. Oh god, it's so gross. That scene, there's one with like eyeballs and food getting stabbed and pus going everywhere, I think, or blood, if I'm remembering correctly. There's like mealworms and maggots shooting out of the woman's mouth into the girl's mouth. Like so gross. This movie is disgusting. That whole movie was just like wow in a bad way. Like I can't believe I'm sitting through this. This is making me actually gag. Like I can't watch that movie. But like I could appreciate it. I appreciated it for its gross factor. I think it deserves a little respect for that. But like other than that, like no thanks. Next one is The Grudge from 2004. I've also mentioned this movie on a previous video, but it's the attic scene at the beginning where the ghost, the main, the big baddie, she pulls the home care nurse lady who's checking on like the family that lives in that house. She like pulls her up and like rips her jaw off. Like that scene, like I will still have nightmares about that scene. That movie, that scene, the whole thing, like The Grudge, like stuck with me. But it's that scene in particular, just because like the idea of like one's jaw being ripped off, like wow, I can't imagine, don't want to imagine. I'll stay out of all creepy haunted houses, thank you. The next one is from a newer movie, it's from Underwater from 2020, and it's the scene where Paul, he's like the comedic relief character, He is so cool. I believe the actor's name is TJ Miller, but like they're in these like underwater suits. I want to say, I don't really remember the premises, like why they're down there. Like him and a whole bunch of other people. Kristen Stewart is like the main character. Paul's, the character Paul, one of the creatures underwater grabs a hold of his leg, like while, like there's like this scene, you know those scenes where something is in the way or obstructing, so you have to like swim underneath it. So like everybody swims underneath it and it's his turn to go under, and he's like about to come up, and then the thing grabs his feet and like pulls his body out of his suit. But like the way those helmets are, like you see him like get lodged on his helmet, and then like you see like just blood explode in his helmet. Totally messed up scene. Oh my god, it like when that happened I was like, oh no. But like it just shook me. It was definitely a wow moment. God, how many times am I gonna say shook and wow? But yeah, that movie was excellent, by the way, but definitely the biggest wow moment in the movie for me. And the last one on this list is kind of, I'm cheating a little bit. It's actually from a show called Masters of Horror from 2006, and the episode is called Imprint. It was actually directed by Takashi Miike, the same guy who directed Ichi the Killer, which is also on this list. So, you know, see a little theme here. He's got a lot of wow factor for me. But there's like, it's really hard to explain this movie. There's just a really terrible scene where a girl is like tied up in bondage. You know, those like rope bondage. She's tied up and then like she's tortured. Like things like putting long skinny needles under her fingernails and like into her gums and like prying her mouth open and like just awful things. Like, and it's just a very long scene. Like, it goes on for a while, and she's tortured because, I guess someone steals money from another one of the girls in this, like, brothel, and she gets pinned for the theft, even though I believe she was innocent. But, yeah, very messed up scene. I guess you could also call this 10 most shocking / wow moments tag. I feel kind of bad, because I feel like I didn't actually do the right thing, but you know, I want to stick with the theme of my channel and roll with it. So yeah, those were my top 10 wow moments in horror movies. Some good wows, some bad wows. And I hate to say it, but I don't actually have a ton of other content creators that I would want to tag. I'm just kind of getting into this scene and finding other like smaller channels like me, and I would like to elevate them before I like tag bigger channels. But there are 2 people that I want to tag. The first is Marie McWilliams. She does like horror movies and she does horror books. I really like her videos so far that I've seen. And my other tag is Rotted Reviews. And he does a lot of reviews on movies that I haven't really seen anywhere else. So he is really like a good channel to check out if you're trying to find some stuff that maybe not everyone is talking about. And I'll just open up the tag if anyone else wants to do this that sees me or sees this, you know, feel free to do so. And then tag whoever you want in the process. Again, sorry if this turned into like a top 10 shock moments in horror, but I gotta stick to the brand, my friends. Gotta stick to the spooky brand I'm making here. This video was a lot of fun to make. I look forward to any future tags if I get them. So yeah, I'll just catch you guys in the next one, and I'll see you then. Bye!